Hey, welcome everybody. Hopefully you can hear us. Welcome to those in the room and online. We will start, as always, by calling the meeting to order and then start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the Arapaho, Ute, and Cheyenne tribes, the traditional custodians of the land, East Oversight Panel, and Boulder Police Department operate, and we pay our respects to their elders, past and present. We want to welcome any members of the public or any press that we may have with us tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. You can use the Q&A if you'd like to ask questions. We'll answer small questions in the chat, or please hold any longer questions or comments for the public comment section. We'll get to that hopefully about halfway through the meeting. Also want to just thank our panel members for being here and acknowledge, I'm sure it's been a busy week. We're all dealing with all sorts of things. We appreciate you guys taking this time to be here with us. All right. Also want to remind any members of the public that you can always submit complaints or contact the panel for any reason at any time on our website. You can submit complaints by going to bouldercolorado.gov/services/police-oversight. And you can email us anytime with complaints or just for any other reason. If you want to contact the panel, ask questions, get in touch with us for any reason, you can email us at policeoversightpanel@bouldercolorado.gov. As a last reminder, all of our meetings are public, recorded, and posted to our website, so you can watch this meeting and any of our past meetings on our website as well. And with that, we will go to roll call. Roll call, or Sherry? I do that every time. Sorry. Go ahead.
Jason.
Present.
Kratos.
Present.
Chico.
Present.
Bill. Is absent. Alan.
Who's having computer issues? Oh, he's back on. Sam.
AB notified us she's gonna miss. Turner.
Present.
Soledad.
Present.
Milan.
Present.
Lizzie.
Present.
And Kristen.
All right. With that, we'll go over our, well, let's do the agenda review. On the agenda today, do you want to try to display it? I'll read through it, but we will start with our usual community outreach and engagement committee update. We don't have Bill, our committee chair today, so it will probably be brief. Looks like we have one announcement, and Soledad and I are just going to briefly address some community engagement related stuff. Then we'll go to the independent police monitor report. We'll go to panel updates and ad hoc items. Sounds like we're going to hear from Chris Reynolds about sealed cases. We'll talk about upcoming NACOL conference, and check in on ride-alongs and debrief our meeting with the chief that was 2 weeks ago. Then we'll go to public comment and go into our usual business. We'll have a closed session if needed, and then get to our case review, voting, and assignments. Then we will adjourn. So do we have a motion to approve the agenda or any items we want to add?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second. Great. All in favor of approving? Anyone opposed? Great. Oh, opposed? Go ahead, Soledad. Oh. Approved. Soledad, do you want to just let us know for the record, what your vote was?
So sorry, I've noticed that we have a delay. I'm approving the minutes.
Perfect. All right, thank you. All right, next up, do we have a motion to approve our minutes from last month? Or any suggestions or feedback on the minutes?
Motion to approve. I will move to approve the minutes.
Great. All in favor of approving the minutes? Give Soledad time. Perfect. Anyone opposed? Great. Minutes are approved. All right, so with that, we'll go to usually Bill to our community outreach and engagement update. Sounds like we have one item on here, CU tabling. Is that a Sherry item? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it just came up last week. I got an invitation to join CU Serves, which is the afternoon of August 27th. I applied and I've been told that we're on the wait list for that. But that there's also a CU student job fair, August 26th. It's also in the afternoon. And I also registered for that, but there's some things that need to be done to like get approved within these two systems talking to each other. So I will keep people updated because I would love to have some support at one or both of those events if possible.
Great. Did you say the dates and times?
I have a student job fair, which is the probably more likely one that we'll be able to go to, is August 26th. And I know that was in the afternoon. I'm sorry, it's not on my calendar yet because it's not approved. And then the other one is CU Serves, which would be August 27th. And I have that from 1 to 6 on my calendar, but I think that includes setup and breakdown time.
Sherry, I have a question. Or I guess just for everybody, does everybody know what CU Serves is? Sherry, do you mind giving a description?
I don't, all that I know is that it is most of the attendees, it's in Fulton, is that the correct name? And it's mostly for CU entities where there's like ways for students to get involved with volunteer opportunities with CU entities. And then they have a limited number of spots for not-for-profits and external or entities external to CU. So that's what we're on the wait list for.
Great. Any other thoughts or questions on that? Is that a hand? Is that us?
I think that might be the cursor.
Oh. Yeah, they've changed their graphics. Sure, that was an improvement. Okay, the only other thing we wanted to mention was just to sort of address the confusion, frustration, unfortunate issue recently with the potential event we tried to put together for Juneteenth that some of our panel members worked really hard on. We just want to acknowledge that situation was really unfortunate and I'm sure super frustrating for folks who put time and effort into making it happen and it didn't happen. We want to apologize really to Curtis and to Milan for not making that happen and that you didn't really get enough support from the panel to proactively get that off the ground and up and running. We want to say for the record too, that it really does appear you guys did everything you reasonably could have to make the event a success. And in the future, we're committed to being more supportive and proactive with helping make those events happen and come to fruition with panel involvement. So to that end, the Community Engagement Committee, it sounds like is working on some like guideline documents, not necessarily specifically in response to this, but to help make sure that folks know exactly how to bring events forward and we know what we need to do to move events forward to be supported. So it sounds like I think Curtis is working on a document and Bill is also working on a document. So next month we'll have an agenda item to talk that through, have panel ideas, feedback, and get something kind of on paper to hopefully give us some best guidelines moving forward for how best we can help make these events successful. So really sorry, you guys. That was really unfortunate and a really big missed opportunity for the panel. So thank you for the work that you put into it. And I'm sorry that this is how it ended. So.
Thank you. I appreciate the apology. Can I add something?
Yeah, of
For the
course.
record, like, I find it sad that we have to work on additional rules because of this, when nothing was done wrong. And so I just wanna state that adding rules is constraining to the imagination of the panel of what's possible. And while I am looking forward to discussing that, I'm also feeling that had nothing happened, rules were not gonna be added and changed and constraining. So just wanting to state my position on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. I really don't want these to, we Soledad brought this point up last week as well. We don't want these to feel like rules or constraints. Frankly, it feels like what happened was you all put a lot of work into a great event and you proposed it and put it forward, and like nobody else kind of knew how to pick it up and run with it, and what steps needed to be taken at the city, and what steps did we need to take as co-chairs. And it just sort of felt like we didn't have a list of steps to take, and as a result, things sort of didn't happen when they should have, and the support that you guys should have gotten, you didn't get. So I'm viewing it more as like just kind of our protocols for how we make events successful and carry them through. What checkpoints do we need with the city? Who do we need to involve and when? That kind of thing. So absolutely not in any response to what you guys did or didn't do. I think you guys, again, did everything right. We just sort of dropped the ball. So hopefully this can be like a resource document more so than any sort of rules. That's more comfortable. And let's talk about that at length next time for sure, as we like actually come up with what should be in there. Anything you want to add, Soledad?
Yeah, sure. So I just want to emphasize a couple of things. One, I personally am not a good friend of making rules out of one event. Like that's not good policy. So that's one thing. And the second that I really want to emphasize that this statement, if you want to put it that way, but we wanted to address this, and I think the important thing, or what I would love for Cortes and Milan to hear is our sincere apologies. We, I think we failed, and we failed in several steps, and in the way that we heard about it. So I mean, there's plenty of things that looking back we can say, oh wow, we should have done this, or it would have been great if we didn't, and I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry, Curtis, that being a new panel, student panel member, you didn't find the support that your event deserved. I'm really sorry, Milan, that it was so much work for you too. I'm super proud and grateful that you put the event either way and you moved it forward. It was so important for the community to have that event in place. Sorry for the panel that we were not there, but we are committed to do better. So basically, I guess what Lizzie and I really wanted to convey is what the sincere apologies for the missteps, and also the commitment that as a panel, we want our panelists to be able to put forward any type of community engagement, and we should be supportive. And also we're committed to make things happen. So what do we need to make things happen, and not, these are all the hoops you need to jump in order to get something done. Time, this, every day is not one more day, it's one day less. So from that perspective, I guess, we want to ensure that everyone feels that they can come forward with whatever type of community engagement they want to see forward. And, we should be supportive and find ways to make things happen and not the other way around. So, yeah, so that I think it's where the emphasis of this particular point should be. So thank you all. And again, so sorry that this happened this way.
Thank you, Soledad.
Thank you, Soledad. Appreciate the apology from the co-chairs. Really, that means a lot. Thank you.
Soledad. All right.
Oh, can I say something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a little correction, Soledad. I think Curtis put a lot more work than I did on this event. So, thank you, but Ta-da.
Thank you.
I stand corrected.
If we don't have any other thoughts on that, we can move to our IPM report. Oh, go ahead, Chico.
I may be a bit late here. I wanted to add something to this item on community engagement, or it can be another agenda item. According to my records, we should be coming to the 5th year when the panel was set up, and that's a big milestone. So what I'm thinking is, with yours, Intec, and the comments, this is something that we should commemorate and be proud of ourselves. So part of community engagement, in my mind, what we are thinking is we blow our horns, for lack of a better term, and celebrate the milestone, invite past and present community panel members that have saved, that are currently saving, and just have an event where we can engage the community and say, this is where we started from, and this is where we're at. So I wait to hear feedback from you all.
I love it, Chico.
Yeah, me too. Sounds like a great idea.
Lots of support in the room. I don't know if you can hear us all, but that sounds great. Maybe something we can talk about the next engagement meeting, community engagement meetings.
It's this Thursday.
Thursday.
Is that when is it, the upcoming one?
I think there's one on the calendar.
Yes.
But then it's
No,
that,
it's not this Thursday.
they don't, the,
It's not until the 7th.
Yeah, okay, it's good.
but I know that people wanted Chris to be able to attend. So I think there's more of a meeting to work around, find out when Chris can attend the meeting. So even though there's one technically on the calendar, I expect that it's probably open to rescheduling. But normally the first Monday of, or the first Thursday of the month is where it says.
Chris being Chris.
So I was going to add one more thing. I think it's best we table it as a main panel. Then if there's anything that needs to be done by the community engagement committee, they come back to us, the main full panel, with ideas of how we're going to pull it off.
Can I add something to that? Is that everybody on this panel is invited to join the next engagement committee? So that we can talk about this. I think that would be great. The more the merrier.
Would that be a plan you're comfortable with, Chico? I think I totally agree with the sentiment that this should be something we all work on together. I think the community engagement meeting just gives us some more time to really dig into it. But ideally, all of us would be at those meetings. So hopefully we can all join the next one. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Go ahead, Soledad.
I have a quick kind of question that I would love clarification on. So did I hear correctly that we are expecting that Chris attends the community engagement committee? And that we're scheduling around that? Is that what I heard?
Yes.
We're probably gonna do an extra one. Right.
Oh, okay. And can I also get clarification on why do we have the not that I don't like you, Chris, why the city attorney needs to attend our community engagement committee meeting?
Talk about process and the ordinance language about handles community engagement process.
Is that a request from the committee?
It wasn't from the big committee, it was from Bill the last time.
Bill
we were in
requested it.
meeting.
Okay.
I think he needed help around, or like, I guess, guidance around the working document, so he had asked Chris to kind of step in and help with those logistics. That's based on the notes, so I don't know if there's any other communication.
But I think since I don't know, it might be a little bit early since we have now 2 documents to look through. So, and I'm not sure those documents have anything to do with the ordinance necessarily as process, they're not to be set in stone in the ordinance, is my understanding. Is that yours too?
Yeah, my reference is the ordinance as a checking point of community engagement. And as far as the process is concerned, to refer back to it.
More like an informal guiding document.
Right,
Yeah.
it's more flexible than that from the questions I asked Bill the last time. It's like, well, what about this one? You know, it's like, it's just a guideline. It's not like something that's gonna be added to the ordinance necessarily. So I'm just wondering if that's necessary.
Well, I think it was to make sure that it didn't like run up like that. There was no conflict
Contradicts,
with the
yeah.
audience. Like, they didn't, that both kind of smoothly work together. Instead of having a document that is processed that somehow violates the ordinance.
But what it says about the community engagement is pretty open right
Yeah.
now, so I mean, sure. But I'm just wondering if we should table that until we have what document that the committee agrees on.
Bill had shared, I do feel like maybe the original request was more about like the questions we had originally about what was in scope. Maybe is that when and maybe we've sort of put that discussion to rest a bit. If the focus is now on the documents, Bill had suggested having you all review the documents before we finalize rather than the opposite way around. I think there's an argument we can make for either of those. But that's maybe we could review them and then come to the meeting to discuss, I suppose. Maybe we checked with Bill to see more specifically what he was thinking and hoping for with that request. And then we can go from there. Does that feel comfortable to folks? And if people have opinions on when we get your review and when we come together to kind of look at the 2 documents and reconcile and discuss, definitely open to that, all those thoughts.
Sorry, just it's if any of those documents were to be adopted, the place that they should go is in the bylaws. It has nothing to do with the ordinance. If we want to change the ordinance, that's an entirely different thing, and that is not coming from this panel, as far as I know. So I'm a little bit confused, and I don't want like which is, and maybe again I think there's disconnect somewhere, because the hope for a document in the community engagement committee, I'm guessing again, is to establish a procedure to make events happen, and you send a request 6 weeks in advance, blah blah blah. It's very operational. So I don't know. It sounds to me like I don't want to bring things so far away in our minds. Like we need an intervention of an attorney to set up a procedure to run an event. Like it seems like a lot. So maybe there are things that I'm not aware of that are happening, or this is kind of being managed a little bit out of proportions, I think. So I don't know. Further clarification would be great, and what we're expecting would be great. And also I would expect that if at any point we're asking the city attorney to come to our meetings, that we are all aware and we can all join. It's kind of my ask, I guess, at this point.
Well, I can meet with individual panel members upon request. So, because sometimes the nature of legal advice has to be given that. So I would not be able to commit to only giving legal advice in a group setting.
Of course, But if it's an individual request, then you should be meeting with Bill individually, right?
Perhaps.
If it's a committee request, then that's a different thing. Right?
I would.
So I didn't, I mean, yeah, I insist. I think we need more information. That's what I'm saying. It's surprising that we're, you know, we're talking about the ordinance and the bylaws and trying to establish a procedure for setting up events. It's kind of, I don't know, just.
I think it's possible that we're conflating two topics right now. The previous questions that were about interpretation of the ordinance and what it has to say about scope of possible community engagement events. I think that was our previous discussion. That's maybe where mention of the ordinance came through with the discussion with the city attorney. I think what we're talking about now is more, it seems like a good due diligence step. This is, I'm paraphrasing Bill. I'm not trying to speak for him, but I believe this is what he was saying. To have the city attorney's office have eyes on our document to see if there was any advice or anything they might note or have an opinion on or let us know about. I don't know that it was meant to elevate that document to something that would have anything to do with the ordinance. That was my understanding.
My understanding was so that something like this doesn't happen again, once this document is in place, just to have a look over it so that something like this won't happen again. That's my understanding. Is that fair?
Yeah, but again, this never was wrong.
No, exactly. But it came from kind of I think a miscommunication, or there was something missing, if that, not that anything that was done was wrong, but that there came up a question about ordinance, and so that just there's no problem ever again to get on top of things.
Yeah, I
Not that anything was done wrong, but things got held up and the event didn't go as planned. So to make sure that in the future, when events are planned, they get to be realized.
But then we put branches and everything to say, oh, something, you know, and so that's where I'm hitting like a little bit of a disagreement, is that if we want something to fail, then that's what we do. We put a wrench in it and then be like, oh, let's look at the bylaws, or let's reassess this, or and then nothing happens, like the event does. And so that's why I'm just like, procedures, yeah, that's great. I would like the next meeting to be focused on Chico's project of celebrating our 5th year as an engagement committee and as a panel, more than procedures personally. And I think maybe the procedure part should be a subcommittee and not hinder the process of engagement that we are involved in.
I think the confusion maybe that you were talking about had to do with, in my perspective, information that we got back from the city side that seemed to indicate that the event was out of scope, when it sounds like that was maybe a misinterpretation or a difference in opinion of the reading of the ordinance. Like, I think I understand what you're saying. There was a misunderstanding between someone. I don't know that it was you all didn't do anything that would necessarily need to be done differently. There was confusion somewhere that resulted in us getting a no to the event that should have been able to happen, right? So I think that's what we're trying to address with questions to the city attorney's office is, what should our understanding be exactly of the ordinance? Or what guidance could we set out for ourselves to make sure that we don't get information back from you all that causes that misunderstanding, I suppose. Maybe it's just a way we communicate about events. I don't know. It feels like there's some communication we can have here that would be helpful for us, not put up more friction for future events. But I understand the nuance. We want to be careful to not be setting up some sort of gauntlet we have to run to get an event done, right? So we'll need to be careful about that. Go ahead, Alan.
Well, if we're gonna set up a working committee or a little group to kind of parse through this, I'd be willing to be on that.
Great, that's super helpful. I think best next steps will be the next community engagement meeting. And then the following, all panel meeting where we have like a full panel discussion. But I guess to sort of wrap this up, unless if we have any more comments, please go for it, but maybe next steps for everyone that everyone will be comfortable with is check in with Bill, get his thoughts, maybe Soledad or I can do that. And then figure out what we want to do about this potential pending request for you to join a meeting. Does that sound okay? Thank you. All right. Shoot, we talked too long, my computer was asleep. Now I have to do 6 steps of authentication, but I think we were on the IPM report out.
And I think we're still up okay on time.
Yes, should be.
Okay, the July 2025 Boulder Police Oversight Panel, Independent Police Monitors Report. So looking at our case file review data for June 2025, we completed 1 full case file review. There are 0 currently pending BPD disposition. There are 13 files that are currently waiting for review, and I've been told to expect several of them in the next few weeks. So they're moving through the redaction process at BPD. Looking at our completed cases, we have MI 2024-083. BPD Sergeant 1 responded to a civil assist request by a residential property manager. The building was conducting an annual fire inspection and a resident refused to allow access to her unit. When Sergeant 1 attempted to speak with residents, she refused to open her door for either the sergeant or the inspectors. Resident made comments about being ACP, which the investigation revealed was the Colorado Address Confidentiality Program. Sergeant 1 left without having any contact besides the conversation through the door. Sergeant 1 shared complainant's name with dispatch when he closed the incident. The monitor originally recommended that this case be closed unfounded in accordance with General Order 120 based on the preliminary investigation. Allegations against Sergeant 1 was a Rule 2 conformance with laws, the Address Confidentiality Program law, misused complainant's confidential information. The panel recommended that this allegation be unfounded with coaching for the sergeant on ACP. The department also determined that this would be unfounded. And the second allegation, Rule 5, police authority and public trust, violated complainant's rights. The panel recommended that this be unfounded, and that was the department's final determination also. The panel made an additional recommendation that BPD members receive training on the Address Confidentiality Program. And during the Q2 meeting with the chief, Redfern notified the panel of the plan to deliver training to officers on this Address Confidentiality Program, and that is expected to occur in Q3. MI 2025-017, 3 BPD officers responded to a disturbance call between neighbors. Complainant followed his neighbor several blocks away to where BPD responded. Officers spoke with complainant, neighbor, and both of their girlfriends. They issued complainant a summons for harassment and menacing. He pled guilty to the former, and the latter charge was dropped. Complainant and his girlfriend alleged additional violations by BPD that were disproven by either body-worn camera, contradicted by their previous statements to BPD, or did not constitute misconduct. The monitor did not classify those additional complaints as formal allegations. The allegation we had was against Officer 1, Rule 1. violation of General Order 203, investigative responsibility and assignment, failed to complete a sufficient investigation. The monitor recommended that this order closed unfounded in accordance with General Order 120 and Department Degree. MI 2025-019, anonymous complainant alleged she was pulled over without justification. Officers informed her that they conducted the traffic stop because her taillights were not working. Video footage captured that her taillights were not illuminated. Allegation against Officer 1, Rule 5, Police Authority and Public Trust, conducted a traffic stop without justification. Monitor recommended that this allegation be unfounded in accordance with General Order 120, and the department agreed. I made an additional recommendation. Both myself and PSU noted that neither officer provided complainant with their business card. The monitor recommended that both officers receive coaching on General Order 303. Looking at some case statistics. In June, the monitor classified 16 complaints. 8 of those were misconduct. 0 serious misconduct. 1 was classified as a community inquiry. 4 were classified as community feedbacks. 3 were unspecified incidents. 0 were referred to conflict facilitation process. I observed 2 interviews. There were 0 critical incident scene responses. And I determined that 3 investigations were thorough and complete, and BPD closed the 3 cases we just heard about. And as of July 8th, the open docket between the monitor, the panel, and PSU is 41 cases. Of those, 27 are classified, 2 were pending monitor classification, and 12 of them were in the preliminary investigation stage with the professional standards. Sharing information about the cases that were classified in 2024 that are still open. There are 5 total. SM 2024-003, those statements have been completed. MI 2024-065, I've been told is being prepped for panel review. MI 2024-076, the panel actually reviewed that last week, and we are working on our final draft to send over to BPD with the recommendations. MI 2024-078 should also be being prepped for panel review, and MI 2024-082 is in chain of command. MI 2024-083 was closed in June, and MI 2024-084 was closed, but in July, so you'll hear about that next one. Providing some information on some engagement events that I attended. It was Pride Month, so several events with Rocky Mountain Quality, an event Queerness in Communities of Color, Boulder Pride Fest, City of Boulder Juneteenth celebration, BPD promotion ceremony, Bike and Walk to Work Day at Community Cycles, and I'm on Ginny Joseph's Public Safety Committee, and she also had a public safety town. Does anyone have any questions before I close down the PowerPoint? Oh. Where'd you go?
Thanks, Sherry, for that. I was just thinking, the 41 cases that are open and 27 classified, that sounds like a lot. Are you able to offer more color on where they're at? Because if we are reviewing 1 or 2 cases a month, 27 sounds like a lot of cases. So where are we at with these that have been classified?
A lot of those are actually relatively newly classified cases. For cases that were yeah, I think all of the cases that were classified in quarter 1 I'm just making sure I'm not missing something. Oh, no, there's one from March. It was classified on March 31st, so the last day of Q1. That's the only case that is currently open from Q1, and then the rest of that were either those 2024 cases that you had information about their status, where all of them are in their pretty close to finalized stages. And the rest of them were classified in just the since April. So some of those, looking at my particular my spreadsheet, some of those are already in chain of command review. But remember, the 27 cases does not mean that the panel voted to take all of those cases. So the cases, the cadence of panel review is not the same thing as the panel's not reviewing all of those cases, all 27, only the ones that they voted upon, which it looks like there's 13 left. So the panel doing review for 1 or 2 cases a month is keeping up with that caseload. But I do know that there were several large cases at BPD that did slow down the people who do the redactions. But like I said, I've been told that whatever it was that was slowing down that process seems to have moved along, and that there are several panel cases that are on deck to get redacted. And then after that, the next step is case review. The good news is this is fewer cases than last year.
Any other thoughts, questions, comments? Thanks, Sherry. All right, we are ahead of schedule. Amazing. So at this point, we will go to our updates. I think we'll go to Chris Reynolds, our CAO, for sealed case discussion.
Thank you. So sometimes criminal justice reform efforts conflict with one another. And what I'm talking about is civilian oversight of police departments. And then on the other hand, state law that allows for sealing of criminal justice records. When a criminal justice record, when you think of like a case, gets sealed, that means that it becomes invisible to almost every sort of person and entity that exists. And it's really important for people who are interested in, getting jobs in the future or going to grad school. It's a benefit to them if they ever get a criminal case to have their records sealed, because they can then pretend like it basically never existed. And so they don't have to report it to schools or employers, and it becomes invisible on a criminal background check. And so that's what it means when a case gets sealed. Sometimes, about 5 years ago or so, the state of Colorado passed a law that allowed for faster sealing of records. It expanded the types of cases that were eligible to be sealed, and also made automatic sealing of records a thing. And so whenever I dismiss a case in the municipal court, automatically gets sealed. And so the young person or whoever it's the case was involving can just pretend like it never existed. There are exceptions to who can see a sealed record, but for our purposes, the law, the Colorado statute, does not allow for a police oversight panel to see a sealed record. So the avenue, it's not impossible, but the avenue the complainant would have to take to get their case reviewed by the police oversight panel is they would have to petition the court in which the case was sealed to have it unsealed for the purpose of a police oversight panel review. And so I just wanted to update the panel on that, because I know that there have been perhaps some questions about that, but sealed records are just not going to be something that the police oversight panel is able to review. And so if there are complaints involving sealed records, they're going to be reviewed by the professional standards unit at BPD is kind of the avenue, the routes for their review, unless the defendant petitions the court to have the record unsealed. The reason why the PSU can look at it is because they're law enforcement. And there's an exception that law enforcement can see sealed records, just like, yeah, so that's the sealed record law update. Chico.
Chris, thanks for the update. So in that case, is there going to be some publicity advising the public or the community that if it's a sealed record, it's not going to be reviewed by the panel, but the PUC, because it has to be laid out. It has to be clear now, right?
Well, I'm not sure if there's going to be publicity about it, but if someone wants to makes a complaint and the record is sealed, then it's communicated to them about what the process is to get it unsealed if they want the panel to review it.
So that's why I'm saying that. Is there somewhere where somebody can read and the community knows that this is the status quo, this is what happens? If there is such a case, then it goes straight to the PUC.
It's a good idea to go, and then I think Sharon did put it in the newsletter as well that she put out, the last one, kind of highlighting this specific issue. I would imagine that eventually they'll carve out an exception, perhaps, because you would think that it might be a good idea to have that exception in the law, but the legislatures, when they're drafting the updated sealing record statute, I don't think we're thinking of police oversight when they updated it.
But Chico, are you suggesting that we add some information like on the police oversight website that identifies that in this specific circumstance that we will not have the ability to do that?
Correct.
You're full of good ideas tonight.
If someone really wanted to petition the court to have it unsealed so that we could review, is that something that can be unsealed like just for our purpose? Okay.
Yeah.
And what does that process look like? Is it like an 8-month process, or is that actually achievable?
Our municipal court judge has done it in the past, not for police oversight, but for other reasons. And at least the way that our judge does it is he'll say something like, the record can be unsealed for this specific purpose, and once that purpose is completed, then the case is to be sealed.
I think if there would be a legislative fix, I think that the phrase is like it would carve out police oversight for inspection of the records. I think that's the language. But yes, it would be tailored. It wouldn't be the whole case is open to anyone to see. It would,
right.
If that's
It's unsealed for a limited purpose.
Could we add maybe even like, I like the idea of making that information proactively available to everyone, but also if we get a complaint from someone who we find the record of the case was sealed, can we then have a step that we always take where we respond back to them and say, hey, thank you for submitting this complaint. PSU will review it, but just so you know, the panel won't be able to review this because it's sealed. If you want them, that to be an option, here are the steps you would take. Can we also do that when it's actually a factor?
We can do that. I should ask PSU. I know that, or my understanding is that they reach out to people and say, like, if you want this, because we're technically not even supposed to know that the records are sealed.
Okay. We're not supposed to know that. PSU can know that. So PSU would have to do the
Yeah,
notifying.
but I don't know what the language is that when they communicate that if you want it reviewed by civilian oversight, you need to or petition the court.
be great to confirm.
I would imagine the process would be a lot longer, going through the county or district court than it would be the municipal court, just FYI. I can imagine it'd be like once.
Yeah.
As opposed to a couple weeks potentially through media courts. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah. That's-
And then, is it worth the panel talking to legislators to help get the legislation itself?
So I elevated this to Junie Joseph and her chief of staff. I wasn't able to attend the last meeting, but I definitely provided her with a significant amount of information about that as she's looking to craft her
Legislation,
legislation.
projects for, okay.
And currently, the city of Boulder is hiring their intergovernmental affairs person who handles legislation. So we don't have a person, but that's, as soon as that person is announced, I'm going to put a meeting between me and them on their
But are they
calendar.
still hiring? Because the hiring freeze?
They did interviews a few weeks ago.
Okay.
I hope it goes through. But yes, it's a legislative challenge, so the fix is legislative.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I have a quick question. Chris, you said that eventually we can, I mean, no we, but it could be petitioned to be able to see these records, right?
the defendant could petition the court in which the case was sealed to have it unsealed.
Okay, so is this something that could be done in cases of serious misconduct that we could? I'm not thinking about every single case, but in cases of serious misconduct, I think it will be worth kind of going through with a petition like that. So would we as a panel, would we have stands to file? No, right? It should be the defendant.
Not the way the current law exists. You would not have standing to ask to unseal the record.
Okay. And it's only the defendant.
Yes.
And we wouldn't know. So we couldn't let them know that they could petition to let us see a case, right? That's unfortunate.
If somebody who has a sealed record files a complaint, then they're informed that there's a process for unsealing the record.
Okay. And is this something that will go, let's say we're in a serious misconduct case, the defendant in the case wants this case to be reviewed by the panel, we have to, can we, I mean, the city provide with support to file that petition, or will have to be the defendant by himself filing a petition like that for us to be able to review a case?
Well, like Sherry said, only we're not even supposed to acknowledge that the record exists.
Mm-hmm.
So like whenever I'm asked about a case that's sealed, I'd say, I don't have any record of that. Can't acknowledge that there even is a case. So it would be the responsibility of the defendant whose record was sealed to petition the court to get it unsealed.
Okay. Okay. And police oversight, I mean, civilian police oversight is in Denver and Boulder only, right, in the state? Are there any other cities that have civilian police oversight?
There's always something being talked about in Aurora under their consent decree, but I don't know that it's material.
Okay, so kind of hard to set up. Yeah, legislative change for 2 cities, which pretty uphill battle. Okay. So then I think I agree with Chico. We have to go with marketing. Let everyone know that this is a possibility. So, okay, thank you. Thank you for the response.
Yeah, is it guaranteed that if somebody goes through the process, the defendant goes to the process, that it will be unsealed? Are there any reason that a person may be denied this?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I would imagine it'd be up to that specific judge. Yeah. Like if the judge is familiar with the case and doesn't want them to, doesn't think that it would be worthwhile to have it looked at by civilian oversight, then I can imagine that it's their purview to say no for any other reason, I guess. So just really up to the judge.
Thank you.
I mean, at the same time, the records are sealed for the benefit of the defendant, so if the defendant wants it narrowly.
And then they have competitive incapacity or
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
Wait, was it?
if they had some kind of incapacity where the judge feels that they do.
Yeah.
but again, it's not unsealing it to
Yeah.
their
but, yeah.
employers and other entities. It would just be for the inspection by the oversight.
Any thoughts or comments, questions for Chris or Sherry? Next topic is Nicole. And thank you, Chris.
Oh,
being
you're
here
welcome.
and for providing that. That's helpful.
Yeah, so NACOL, which is the National Association for Civilian Oversight of Law Enforcement, of which we all are members of NACOL. They just opened up their registration for their annual training, which is October 26th through the 30th. We have 2 spots budgeted for panel members to attend. Soledad and I will be presenting. So Soledad has 1 spot. So we're looking for people who are interested to let us know if they're interested and they could commit to that week. It's in Minneapolis. And obviously, because of budget constraints, we want to get like the early birds and the early flights and the early hotels. So I'm hoping to be able to have this figured out and decided and booked like in 2 weeks. So if you're interested and you have that capacity, please let me know. And both Soledad and Milan have gone to the conference. So if you have any questions about what you can expect, if it was worth it, please reach out to them. Milan especially, because last year they had the Sunday programming for you. Wasn't there programming on like, so I've been going to this conference for several years and it's much more towards a lot of it is geared towards people, who it's their full-time job, whether they're an investigator, auditor, or monitor type of entity. But last year they started having on Sunday a full day of programming for people who are the community voice on the different boards or commissions. So
that was really interesting because it allowed us to meet each other and to realize, what are people doing with their oversights in different cities and how they make it work for themselves and what they have the power they have and or not, but so it was a good way to learn of possibilities of what oversight can look like. And it was also nice to connect with people and especially with the Denver group. So the groups and there was a group from Aurora, but yeah, I don't know that they were interested. So it was great to talk about this and to meet other people from Colorado, but also from elsewhere and just see what they were doing. So I would like to go, but I've been there twice, so I understand that I'll be the last one. And rightly so. So please, I would recommend that if you can, do go. It's worth it. It's a great learning and a great place to feel empowered in what we do here.
you can also reach out to me with questions, not just.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer questions.
That's all that I had to say about NACOL. But the next topic is actually really timely. I just reached out, it's ride-alongs and everyone needs to, according to the ordinance, do a ride-along, once a year. Ride-alongs are nicer in warm weather than in winter. And I reached out because I realized I hadn't done a ride-along in a while. So and I was told that come the beginning of August, they're going to have a lot of officers coming out of training who are going to be riding with field training officers. So basically, between now and early August is a really good time because there's going to be more capacity. So I strongly recommend reaching out to Bethany if you have not done a ride along in the last 6 months probably, because once winter comes and school starts and things like that, it gets harder to do. And just in general, the requirement is 4 hours. Normally it starts with briefing, and briefing is, you don't technically have to go to briefing, but I would highly recommend briefing. That's what in a lot of other departments they would call roll call when they come together at the beginning of their watch. Sometimes they're talking about feedback from how an event went the day before. A lot of times they're passing on information from the previous watches or information that they've obtained, in the last day about missing people or like stolen vehicles. But I think that the roll call, or sorry, the briefings is very helpful and interesting to attend. When you do your ride-alongs, also, you can really be proactive and ask them, can you show me your equipment? Can you, what did you just do on that computer? What's happening? And really try to absorb as much information as possible so that when you're reviewing cases later on, the things that you're reading about, the way that the officers work on the radio, it makes sense to you and you understand the work that they're doing. Just be plugging ride-alongs. If you end up doing it in the bowels of December in the holiday season, you were warned.
I just want to say, I just did my ride along with Sterling just 2 weeks ago. And so you can ask for Sterling. And that was super nice. So thank you again.
No,
Day and time did you do it? And was it a good
I think it's there at 6 a.m.
yeah, so Friday,
Yeah, so it was a Friday, 6 a.m. till 10. And I did attend the briefing.
Oh, yeah, thank you. So 6 a.m. are briefings, and then 2 p.m. and then 9 p.m.
And I have to say that I missed the previous one, like I totally slept through the. It was, yeah, it was not on my schedule, it was on my city schedule and didn't make it, so.
BPD has stood me up recently also, so.
It's really missed.
6 a.m. and then 10 p.m. the same day. We made it up, we did it.
I did a ride along that I believe was close to 4 hours.
Okay.
Is that good? Is there a list?
I don't think anyone's with the stopwatch.
Okay, cool. Just want to make sure, like, if there was a list of people who hadn't done it or hadn't done it.
how would it be recorded, I guess, is.
Yeah.
That's what I think Bethany records it because people don't necessarily tell me when they've done ride-alongs. So I think Bethany randomly is being the.
Well, I was told to go through her, so.
Yeah,
That's what I
I
did.
just don't have a document where we took down like, yes, no, has everyone done it with dates, and that was helpful.
That would be really helpful.
So maybe we can spin that back up.
maybe collaborate with Bethany.
Yeah.
Bethany just kind of updates it.
Oh.
She hasn't updated us in a while since we've had new panelists, so I don't. Yeah.
One thing also that people could do, so you can do a 4-hour ride along, or you can do, I believe, a 2-hour walk along with foot patrol officers. And like, if you were feeling like, oh, that wasn't quite 4 hours, you could also ask to like sit in dispatch, which can be really interesting to see how that works. So, I mean, you can have multiple bites at the apple.
Does like the sitting and dispatch count towards the
Yeah.
hours you need?
Yeah, and it's unfortunately, when I sat in dispatch, I got waylaid So I didn't get to sit there for a full hour, but watching how much they manage, and if you ask them, it's very integrated with some of the other law enforcement agencies dispatch in the area. So they can patch into each other's systems pretty easily to provide mutual support when needed.
We'll check back with everyone about what's available for tracking and any information we can provide. It's like, I'm pretty sure I did mine last August, but I would love a document that confirms that for me, because who knows? So, cool.
Just remember, does your life get easier or harder when the school year starts?
You have to think about that.
It's not rough.
All good on that topic? Yeah. All right, next is meeting with the chief debrief. We had a good meeting with the chief 2 weeks ago. We had a couple members of the CERT team and sort of management team there to talk to us, which was great. We've also requested already that the homeless outreach team, hot team, be in attendance next time. So I know we have some outstanding questions and topics for them, but thoughts, comments, feedback on that session?
I thought the homeless discussion was very enlightening. You know, what you always hear out there, at least I do, what are they doing or what's the city doing about people who are out on the streets? And well, it turns out quite a bit. And it's just kind of, it's just very frustrating to know what a moving target it really is and how difficult it is to keep up. And got a great appreciation for that.
Else?
Yeah, I also thought it was interesting how CERT and BPD have how they explain they have a learning relationship with each other and being able to bounce ideas off each other, dealing with people with mental health issues. I thought was really positive thing to see.
And I wrote along like last month is you could tell that some of the officers had like a lot of historical knowledge of some of the unhoused people that live in the street and are able to like use that knowledge to de-escalate things rather than escalate them. Sometimes.
I have to say that we actually, when I was on the ride along, we came here to on the other side of the creek to observe, and Sterling participated in something with someone from out of town who was disturbing the peace of the unhoused people. It was really interesting to observe the interactions with the police officers and seemingly like the trust that they had in them to support the challenge that they were faced with. So that was really interesting. It's very well done, that's all.
And I did send an email last week reminding Alistair that people want the hot team, the homeless outreach team at the next meeting, and confirmed the date. So it's definitely on their radar.
I think this was a great demonstration of how helpful it can be to have like other folks in those meetings as well. Like that was maybe the first time I think we've had a totally different team represented. That was really, it added a lot. So if we can start brainstorming who else we might want in future meetings too.
And just in case you weren't going to ask, the Q3 meeting with the chief is scheduled for Monday, September 22nd.
Fixed.
6:30.
Oh, now we're overtime.
I just noticed
Hopefully that changed. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, we will go to public comment and then take our break. All right, so typically we would go into public comment. I don't believe we have any members of the public with us currently, so we will skip it. For any members of the public who watch this later, please join us. We're happy to have you anytime. you're always welcome to come and listen in and speak or don't. It's also totally okay to come join and not comment during public comment. So we hope to see you at a future meeting. All right, let's take our break. We usually do 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Usually do 5 minutes.
All right, should we stay back at 7:50? In 6 minutes. In your program.
Yeah, I think some people
All
might.
right, that's a long program. Everybody, just a moment.
Yeah.
All right, think we're back. Next order of business is we have time for closed session. If folks are interested in discussing cases, do we have any motions to enter closed session? Oh, I almost did it again. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Most important order of business today that I neglected to mention at the top of the meeting was we have a new panel member with us today. Super exciting. This is Turner Land. He's our newest student panel member. Our previous student panel member, Donnie Austin, is no longer on the panel. We thank her for her time with us and wish her well. And Turner Land will now be our new student panel member. So welcome. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a student at CU studying linguistics and international affairs. I've been in Boulder since 2021. I think I'm here from Southeast Louisiana and happy to be working with y'all.
Great. Thanks for being here.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
All right. Thank you, Sherry. Gosh, if it's not on the agenda, I just like black out.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
And I'll try lifting each other up.
Yes.
I forgot to.
I'm gonna interject. Welcome, Turner. So happy you're here. And just so we set the record for, because this is a public meeting, so the public know that Turner had done all the training with all the new panelists. So I think that you're able to vote if I'm not wrong, but I just want to make sure that we said that on the record and clearly, hopefully. Sherry? Right? He is. Okay, so all trained and ready to vote. Thank you for joining us, Turner.
Thank you for calling that out, Soledad. All right, with that, we will now move into, if folks choose closed session, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of going into closed session? Anyone opposed? All right, we will go into closed session for maximum 20 minutes. So we will likely be back around 8:15. So we will see you back here then. Thanks. Okay. That's great. 1 second. All right, we are back, everyone. Apologies for the longer than planned executive session, closed session. We are back. All right, go ahead, Ron.
So we were talking about officers receiving coaching in our closed session. I was just like, generally speaking, what does that mean? What forms can it take? And
It could be, it's pretty broad. It can depend on the case, obviously. So it can be something as simple as just like verbal counseling, kind of going over and like read and review policy or law. It could be or something more like doing scenario-based trainings, where you kind of present a scenario and have them kind of work their way through it. So it can be a range of different things.
and how do you keep track of behavior change following coaching events?
Basically through their annual evals. Evaluations.
Anybody else have a question?
All right. Hearing none. You go into voting. We have 10 cases, I believe, to vote on. We will start with MI 2025-026. One allegation, rule one, compliance with values, rules, and general orders.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
No,
Turner,
No.
Soledad.
No.
Milen,
No.
Lizzie,
No.
Kristen.
Nope. All right, next case. MI 2025-027. Officer one, rule five, allegation, police authority and public trust.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
no,
Turner,
No.
Soledad,
No.
Milen. No. Lizzie
No.
and Kristen.
Nope. Great. It's MI 2025-028. There's two officers. Officer one has one rule one violation or allegation, compliance with values, rules, general orders. Officer two, also rule one, compliance with values, rules, and general orders.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
no,
Turner,
No.
Soledad,
No.
Milen,
No.
Lizzie,
No.
Kristen.
No. All right, next case, MI 2025-029. Two involved officers, officer one, rule four, respect for others, officer two, also rule four, respect for others.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
no,
Turner,
No.
Soledad,
No.
Milen.
No.
And Lizzie
No.
and Kristen.
No. Next case, MI 2025-030. Crash investigation specialist one, two allegations, one rule four, respect for others, one rule one, compliance with values, rules, and general orders.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
no,
Turner,
No.
Soledad,
No.
Milen,
No.
Lizzie,
No.
and Kristen.
No.
Okay,
Next case, MI 2025-031. One officer involved, rule four, respect for others.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
no,
Is that a no, Alan?
no, yes, was a no, certainly
Got it,
no.
got it, got it.
thank you. Turner.
No.
Soledad,
Yes.
Milen,
Yes.
Lizzie
Yes.
and Kristen.
Yes. Four. Next case, MI 2025-032. Four involved officers, officer one, rule one, compliance with values, rules, and general orders, rule two, conformance with laws, and a second rule two. 2, rule 4, respect for others. Second officer, rule 2, conformance with laws. We have 3, rule 2, allegations. And a rule 4, respect for others. Officer 4, just 1, rule 4, allegation, respect for others.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
Yes.
Chico,
Yes.
Alan,
So so this is the one where we discussed that there could be,
we're not in closed session.
Yeah, careful to discuss any case details that aren't in.
all right, okay, so that there's possibility that there's additional information that will come forth.
This is the one where you.
I don't know what types of this
requested.
You have to vote.
1 sec.
For now, I'll vote no.
I think-
And I'm thinking maybe it'll pass, but I'm a no right now.
I think 033 was the one where you had the note about requesting. petition. Oh, 2, I think, okay,
So maybe make that loud to let them know that.
Alan, I think what you're thinking of was in 033. If that sounds right to everybody, yeah, no, okay, so 032 did not have that note. Are you still a no?
I'm still a no.
Thank you.
Okay, Turner,
Yes.
Soledad,
Yes.
Milan? Yes. Lizzie,
Yes.
Kristen?
Yes. All right, we will review that case. Next up, MI 2025-033. 2 involved officers, Officer 1, Rule 1, compliance with values, rules, and general orders. Officer 2, Rule 6, use of force.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
Yes.
and Alan,
No.
and Turner,
Yes.
and Soledad,
Yes.
and Milan? Yes. And Lizzie,
Yes.
and Kristen? Yes.
We will also review this case. MI 2025-034, we are not voting on.
Get that next month.
We'll skip that. MI 2025-035. Officer 1, 2, Rule 1, allegations, compliance with values, rules, and general orders. Rule 4, respect for others.
Jason,
No.
Curtis,
No.
Chico,
No.
Alan,
No.
Turner,
No.
Soledad,
No.
Milan?
No.
Lizzie,
No.
Kristen?
No.
Great, that concludes our case voting. We have 2 cases to return to assign. All right, first up, we have 032. MI 2025-032. Do we have volunteers to review this case? So if we have Chico, Soledad, Milan, and Curtis. You. All right, next case is MI 2025-033. Do we have volunteers for this case?
I know. She has no idea what we're doing.
Oh. One. Soledad. I can review this one.
Mm-hmm.
And Lizzie.
I love the idea of there being 4 people, so one person whose schedule doesn't jive.
If you're interested in, so you probably need to shadow, right? So yeah, if any of these are good shadow
Okay,
opportunities.
could I do 32?
Great. That concludes.
We have 4 for 30. I have Len, Soledad, and Kristen and Lizzie for 33.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any final thoughts, questions? All right, I think that concludes our business and we will adjourn. Or do we need a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. You want to adjourn?
Second.
All right, all in favor of adjourning? Anyone against? All right, thank you all. We're adjourned. Have a good night, everybody.
Good
I
night, everyone. Bye.